Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is part 1 of our experience at the Extreme Mustang Makeover in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. This video really does have it all. You'll see behind the scenes of what goes on at an Extreme Mustang Makeover. I show you guys both of my classes, and you get to see the highs and the lows.
We're on a journey, looking back on the things that we've taken for granted, but feels like we're learning to be better without what's been holding us back now. Let's move closer to a new history, find out what we can be together. Take my hand and we will conquer the world. This is our final chance. 'Cause one day we'll be looking back at this. We were in a big mess together. But we found a way to choose right from wrong. We found the strength to go on together.
We arrived on Wednesday night and got settled in. The whole place was buzzing with excitement. There was a ton of commotion going on with everyone getting their horses' stalls set up and decorated. After things settled down, I walked Zariel around and she found a filly that she did not want to leave. This filly was also from Triple B. I wondered if this could be Zariel's baby, or maybe even just a horse that she used to know. We think that Zariel has had a baby or two. That would explain her short chewed-off tail. Either way, it was cute to see her interact with it. Then we found an empty arena that I could let Zariel run free in. I tried to get her to run around, but she just wanted to follow me. This became one of our spots to get alone. On our way back to her stall, we stopped by the big arena to acquaint her with everything. It was quite the culture shock for both of us. Unfortunately, you can't hear what I'm saying, but basically I'm saying it's 10:30 at night, Zariel's ready for bed, and it's time for me to finally decorate her stall. I got a bunch of photos taken, and then I printed them out at Walmart, and now I'm going to hang them all up so everybody can see what a treasure this horse is. Today is the big day. We have our first class called Handling and Conditioning at 10 a.m. It's an in-hand class to show some basic skills like catching, haltering, leading, picking up feet, grooming, trotting in hand, and then lastly, loading into the trailer. I got there early to feed Zariel, muck out her stall, groom her, and get her nice and shiny for the first class. We worked with her in the practice arena, just refreshing ourselves with the pattern for the class. I was so very nervous, you guys. I have never competed in any real shows, so just having people watching, people judging, it was so nerve-wracking. Maybe to some this is a small thing, but for me, it was so new and it felt really big. Zariel had been doing some funny things when we went into the trot transition. And by funny things, I mean bucking. She would do it half of the time, so I was just hoping that she wouldn't do it during the real class.
How's she doing? I think she's doing good. Yeah.
After some run-throughs, we put her away and went to the walkthrough. They hold this meeting so you can get a feel for the distances, ask the judges any questions, and actually walk the course. It was helpful to be in there and get a feel for it. I found a piece of plastic in the dirt, so I picked it up. I wasn't about to take any chances. I was already nervous enough. The last thing I needed was Zariel to spook at a piece of plastic. As I walked back to grab Zariel, I wanted to say that the people I met during this last week were a pretty neat group. Everyone is so encouraging and helpful to one another. Even though it's a competition, it's one of the most inviting environments that you could walk into. I was the lowest on the totem pole, but I totally felt welcome here. Everyone rooted for everyone, and that's something that you don't often find nowadays.
Our first handler is Camille McCutcheon with Yoshi.
Camille was draw number 1, so I got to see her and Yoshi perform. If you want to see her whole run through, check out her channel, Camille's Mustangs. She'll have all of her classes and her own makeover vlog on there shortly.
Our next entry is hip tag 45, shown by Marina Winter, showing Zuriel, and Zuriel comes from Triple B HMA.
This might look a little bit weird because I did speed it up. The whole class was about 4.5 minutes, so I made it a little bit faster, that way we could get through it. The first part of this class is to walk your horse into the round pen, take its halter off, and then leave. The point of it is to show how easy it is to catch your horse. Zuriel was so good at first and waited at the gate for me, but then she decided to walk away. Now that could have been my approach or my fault, but either way, she took a second to catch, which was not ideal. The best case scenario would be that your horse would come and put its head in the halter, which Zuriel can do sometimes, but today she decided not to. As I put her halter on, I whispered to myself, "It's okay, we can do this. Let's just leave this in the round pen and move on." You guys saw me practice this next part, but the goal here is to walk up to the barrel, brush your horse all over. Ideally, they don't sniff the barrel, but it's also not the end of the world. You're supposed to brush them down on their legs, their stomach. The whole idea is to show that there are no sensitive spots or no-go spots on your horse. I decided not to brush Zuriel's face because she is a little touchy and head shy when she's nervous, and this was a medium brush, so not a soft brush. I'm gathering my ropes, making sure everything is in order, and of course, Zuriel decides that she needs an itch, but I just ignore that and we go straight into the trot transition. And guess what? She didn't buck, so that is a huge win for us. She also backed nicely. I was really proud of that, but when I went to go pick up her feet, she was extremely nervous. Now, watching the video back, I do see one of the judges moving his paper up and down, which technically shouldn't be spooking anybody, but for Zuriel, I think this was a little bit scary. We had practiced in this arena with no one else in it, and of course no other obstacles, so I think having 5 people sitting down against the walls, moving papers around, was a little scary for her. I'm pretty sure the rule is if the horse gives 3 refusals at the same thing to move on to the next one. So unfortunately, we had to move on to the trailer loading. Now, Zuriel has loaded in 3 different types of trailers that were scarier than this, but unfortunately, I think with all of the other stimulus, she was too scared to load into the trailer. Of course, if this trailer was out in my backyard, I could definitely get her to load by sending her or putting a little bit of pressure on her, but the whole point of the show is to show that your horse can do this with basically little to no pressure. I was not able to get Zuriel loaded into this new trailer without any pressure. I couldn't help feeling defeated as I walked out of the arena. Everyone was so gracious and encouraging and kind to us, but I just felt like a failure.
Today has been one of these days, you know? You know these days? I know them well. But Zuriel's cute still, so that's good.
I know some won't understand my disappointment here, and that's okay. This whole journey has been a hard one. It's been good, but hard. Coming to the show to show in hand was a hard one too. The handling and conditioning class was the only class we could get scored in because we weren't riding yet. Even though we would still show in the trail class, we would not be scored. I just had wanted it to go better than it did, but that's life. And after processing it and spending time in the round pen out of the noise, receiving some encouraging God time text messages, you know who you are, I felt good. After a good long nap, I was ready to start it all over again the next day.
It's real. I think. You're so cute. Hee-haw, hee-haw, hee-haw. Say good morning. Good morning, Zeusk. Oh, you're so pretty. You're so pretty. Yeah. When you scoop your shavings into your water bowl instead of your muck bucket.
so tired.
We're the good part, the happy ending. Unexpected plot twist, we always save me. We're the good part, we never fake it. Even if it hurts, we always say